Welcome to Reading the Green, our golf and fantasy sports show. I'm Mike with basically no voice. Kyle, Jordan, back. We're live in person.
Are you going to change the theme music this week to like Eminem? Guess who's back?
Do you understand the amount of work it takes to change the theme music?
No, we've never done it.
No, you have no idea.
No idea.
We're not doing it. Same theme music. You've already heard it. This is our Ryder Cup show. You know, we've done almost no prep on Ryder Cup, so we're going to sit here and
Build lineups as we
build lineups and talk about our favorite things about team golf. Let's start with before we get to team golf. Let's first start with beer. Then we're going to talk about what we haven't even published yet was the results of the RTG Invitational.
The people are clamoring for that.
They are actually got hassled in person on this, and partly this is our social media director's fault for not getting the video content recorded, done, tweeted out, whatever, but we're going to recap it here.
Fire them.
Can't do that. So let's start with beer, though. First beer we had was Are We Having Fun Yet? Barrel Theory.
I'm having fun.
That was good.
I don't know about you guys.
That was very good.
EDH Double India Pale Ale, Rawaka Galaxy and Citra. Pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
What do we got now?
What are the Swing Assist, New England?
Yeah,
IPA.
Junkyard.
Yeah, from Junkyard. Thought we could go golf themed with this one.
You know, I'm going to read the can description just because
Oh.
golf-themed can descriptions are probably written by non-golfers. This is a Cinderella story, a former pile of hops and malts about to become the Masters champion. It looks like a miracle. Crowd cheers. It's in the hole. It's in the hole.
Yeah, that was written by someone that's never played golf.
But seen Caddyshack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like this could assist my swing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you see Michael Kim, his tweet today that asked, he's like, I got a couple of bachelor parties coming up and I've never hit a golf ball drunk before. What tips do you have?
He's got to be joking, right?
I said,
I don't know. How old is he?
26, 27, maybe he's a little older.
I would have guessed.
Actually,
older.
no, he's probably older.
He's 30.
He actually, I didn't say what tips do you have. I think he said, what should I expect? And I didn't respond, but my response in my head was, I would expect to get made fun of. I don't know. For just never having done it, yeah. But then again, I'm not really someone who golfs drunk, so.
Well, there's drunk,
Neither
and
am
then there's
I.
a couple swing assists.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, Kyle, did you need any assistance at the RTG Invitational earlier this month?
Well, I mean, I could have, and it was right there for the taking. I got a little bit of the. Yeah, I got a little bit of the chip shanks. What chips? I got the chips. I got the shits.
You got
guys.
the shits. You got the chip shits.
Just started off pretty rough around the greens. Hemorrhaged some strokes. Got down. I was down quite a bit, even giving as much as I give. But then I righted the ship for a while.
You did. There was a par somewhere on the back nine that I think really got you into position. But let's dial it back. We had our annual RTG Invitational, a 3-man tournament, net medal play, net stroke play, because that feels like the easiest way to just keep track of it. Kyle, you were getting 25.
Sounds right.
Jordan, you were getting 4, and I was playing as a 0. And second year in a row, Kyle and I tied on the number after 18. Jordan, you actually weren't too far back, and you would have been not as far back if you would have taken the staggered start that I had suggested, but you still would have lost.
Yes. Well, I think I finished 3 back,
Mm-hmm.
but I had an 8 on a hole.
Yep.
Where I put it off the green. And it burned to the edge.
I can't.
Went from a 4 to an 8.
What I think the listeners, I need help on the stats on this though, because Kyle playing as a 25 here, you were 5 strokes ahead of me with 5 to play. Gross, essentially, when we applied the strokes. So I needed to make up 5 strokes in the last 5 holes, gross, in order to tie you. And it seems reasonable, a 25 stroke difference. Certainly that is reasonable. But we came to 18 tied.
And I parred 18.
What are the chances of a 27 handicap parring a 430-yard 18th hole when he needs it.
Yeah.
Which includes hitting
And
the
it's
fairway.
the top 5 hardest holes, so he would have been getting 2 strokes there.
Yeah. Includes hitting the fairway, hitting the green from 200, 180.
It was like 188.
Yeah, it was
With a
we
hybrid.
looked at it up. You couldn't even see the pin.
Couldn't see the
I was
pin,
like,
it was
aim
up
at
the-
that tree. And he hit the shot of his life.
To about
I hit a
50,
better one in 5, but that
to
was
about
pretty
50
good.
feet. And then you lag the 50-footer to 2 feet. Meanwhile,
Made a nervy downhill 2-footer.
you
too.
did, which you didn't think you needed. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, I hit my tee shot I had 160 in, and I like chunk blocked it off the back of the first tee down a hill onto the putting green.
Worst shot you had hit all day.
I had the ball really great all day. And of course, when it matters, I was old Mike, 35 yards away from the pin on the putting green, to which I then hit the flop shot, probably a top 5 career flop shot for me, from 35 yards to about 10 feet.
Did we
You
ever
called-
validate his drop, by the way?
No, I.
You did.
might
You
have been
came
a little
over.
closer to the hole,
You came over and said you can't go closer to the hole, and I went the other direction on the
but I
putting
didn't
green.
measure to see if you actually went
Oh, okay.
closer.
I did call as soon as I hit it. I said,
Yeah.
I was like, that was good.
It was a great putt. I
Um,
thought I had you. I was on, I just had a 2-putt, and you came back from the dead.
so we went to a putt off, 3-hole putt off, and
I'm in the
I
edge of
clipped
the
you.
ones.
You did.
Very, very similar.
You probably should have had us. You should have gotten 2 or 3 strokes on a putt off.
3 10-footers.
Actually, if I would have made one like a lot longer, then yes. But yeah, 3 10-footers. I guess you should.
So there you go. Yes, I was the RTG Invitational champ, 2nd year in a row, but 2nd year in a row, it was in a playoff. So handicap system at work.
Now, if only he could win the name game.
Yep. Jordan and I both had one really bad hole, and that just Jordan had the putt off the green. I might have shanked a chip or 3 on one hole. He took 3 extra shots.
You did yourself no favors.
We haven't talked about the shot of the day
Go ahead.
on 11.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
driver.
Jordan might have driven the green on a par 4 hole 10, but then I hit
You
driver.
drove a green too.
Yeah, I drove a green too. A par 3. Green.
11 was playing. I mean, it was playing 240 into the wind, and we convinced you to hit driver.
Yeah, 240 into the wind, and there was a nice little backstop, hit on the green, rolled up the hill, rolled back down the hill, back onto the green.
Yeah. So would you end up with par birdie there?
Well, I 3-putted.
Oh, son of a gun.
Blew that one by. It's a tricky green complex.
Such is the life of a 27 handicap. But
Yeah.
Kyle, you played great. Way to hang in there. I know you appreciate feeling the rush, and I look forward to defending the title against you next year.
I like the pressure shots. Let's go.
So there you go. Lack of engagement from the RTG faithful on Twitter, so we're not handing out any RTG prize packs. So we'll hang on to those for next time. Change of topics. We'll get to Ryder Cup here in a second. Haven't played fantasy golf in a month. Maybe we played a little bit at the Fortnite Classic. So what are you doing with your fantasy dollars right now?
Losing in football. I feel like I'm not in as much in the app, in the DraftKings app, because we're not as engaged PGA, but I like to play football and did pretty decent last year. I just haven't been as dedicated so far. So
But you guys
it'll
are
be
like
showing.
Dynasty League, Guillotine League guys. Like, isn't there anything going on there?
Yeah, but it's just such a different.
Is it boring early in the season? Like, there's nothing to talk about?
No, I just I haven't hit my stride yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like before the season, there's lots of trades and other things like the draft and whatnot. The season's the most boring part of fantasy
Really?
football. Oh yeah.
What about the sleeper app you guys are in?
It's a decent app for Dynasty Leagues. It has a lot of customization. I would say though, I feel like every time I'm like, okay, yes, it's great. There's something I find that kind of lets me down a little bit. Jordan?
The sleeper app for Dynasty? It's all right. What about the prop bets?
It's good. I like
I
it.
forgot about the prop bets.
Yeah.
Prop bets are not going.
Prop bets are not. I've had all of like the last few that I've done. I should look them up. Have all been like one short. I had a
Mhm.
5 prop that got to 4. This weekend I had a 3, and all Tony Pollard had to do was score a touchdown.
Oh, jeez. All he's got to do.
They were playing the Cardinals. It should have been a blowout, and then
They did get blown
and
out.
then all the Cowboys suck. The Cowboys got blown out.
Yeah,
well,
that's what I'm
not
saying.
blown out, but like it was just.
I gave up.
I'm always one short. I'm like, yes. No.
I gave up on the bigger ones. I've just been trying to do twos, and I haven't hit those. Like,
You know what you guys are missing out on?
so the sleeper. This is over unders, and you have to parlay them for those that don't know what we're talking about. What are we missing out on?
NFL Rainmakers, DraftKings,
I've been dabbling.
I
should look and see if I have a packed up.
over under how many cards do you think I guys have?
50 already. He laughed, so it's way more than that.
Yeah,
It's not way more,
it's hard because
but it is more.
when my dabbling so far, it's hard with the different game slates.
Yeah,
It's,
they do the contest. It is a little more confusing. The contest, it doesn't line up exactly like where the DFS contests line up. You guys know this, the audience knows this. Like, I don't really do NFL fantasy leagues, but so I figured in order to have something on the line, I figured I'd try to participate in every day of NFL games in Rainmakers. The trick is I have to accumulate, 4 legit cards from every game. So like Thursday night, okay, well, I got to have 2 players from Green Bay and 2 players from Detroit. So it's actually been a little bit strategic trying to pick up guys like a couple weeks in advance. And
so the Thursday night games and Monday night are only 4.
yeah, so if it's a showdown, if there's only one game and it's a showdown, you only have to start 4 players.
Oh,
If it is a 2-game primetime game, they do the 5-player lineup with the position requirements. So the other one is a captain mode 4-player showdown. So anyways, so Jordan, naturally I've got in over my head. But
I think you text something and you're like, I'm not going to do that. And I said, check back in 6 weeks.
well, I'm a few $100 in and I have 66 cards. But
I can tell this story because none of our wives listen to the podcast at all,
but they
watch
might
it
be
on
within
YouTube.
earshot of the recording.
Yeah. So we're at the Corn Maze Park Pumpkin Park Festival on Sunday. Mike's there's shitty cell phone service because we're in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, do I open this pack? Do I not open it? I got to do it before 7 o'clock. Am I going to be home? I might have to come up with an excuse to pull over on the car ride home. I was like, yeah, is that so your wife doesn't know what this is and doesn't start asking questions about these stupid fake cards you're opening? And then luckily he went to a different part of the area and he got it. And while he was gone, his wife was like, God, Mike just went to get silverware. Why is it taking him so long to get back?
I come back and Jordan says that and I go, I found some 5G. Opened up that pack to get a Pittsburgh defense rare card that I could probably sell for about $4, so totally worth it.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, moving on, we're gonna talk about the Ryder Cup because this is why everyone's here. Are you guys pumped? 48 hours Ryder Cup.
I am, but it sucks when it's in Europe. Like the first 2 times at 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. This is for those that don't know. I'm sure everyone knows, but for those that don't know, we'll be playing in Guidonia, Italy, at the Marco Simone Golf Club.
Which, as we learned from our guest Ari, already hosted a DP World Tour event.
This is where they play the Italian Open.
Yeah, he went there. Well, he happened to be there and wanted to play it, and he couldn't because that was there, and he was very surprised that there was another tournament there.
Yeah, I mean,
2 months before.
PGA Tour, when they have this, they usually then swap in a different course at the Cup location. So, like last year, the President's Cup was at Quail Hollow. They did not play the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, it's a lot on the members. I would suck.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't get to play all summer.
Adrian Moran won.
The Italian Open.
Yeah, the Italian Open.
Not on the team, right?
Not on the team.
Not on the team. Team USA won 2 years ago at Whistling Straits. Kyle, what do you know about the Marco Simone Golf Club?
I think it's going to be a pretty good fit for this type of competition, just because it's not gimmicky, but there's a lot of risk reward holes, and there's just some. I think it's going to play out well, because especially like 4-ball. So when you have 4 balls in play and you're playing with a partner, I think you're going to see a lot of guys go for things. There's some drivable par 4s, but then there's also several holes where if you just laid it back 280, you're in a wide part of the fairway, no bunker trouble. Where if you try to push it and go 310, 315, you're going to have to fly a bunker. You're going to have to cut a dog leg a little bit. So I think it sets up well for this type of competition, just because there is some of those nuances off the tee. You can be shorter, and that's not going to overly hurt you as long as you're accurate. Long can very much help you, but you have to be accurate as well. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
I'm hearing hammer Brian Harmon this week.
I don't think it's a too bad of play.
Well, at his price.
Well, right, yeah, and we'll get into DraftKings strategy here, but Rick Gaiman was he used a term which I didn't really get, but he said he thought the golf course maybe was like, instead of like a tough golf course being 90% skill, 10% luck, he called this golf course 60% skill, 40% luck. And I thought, how do you handicap 40% luck? But I think maybe what was getting at is like the gimmickiness of it is just going to create lots of kind of weirdness.
Yeah, and I don't know if gimmicky is the right word. But it's like there's just it's not super straightforward.
Everything.
It's not, everything is exactly what it seems.
Which is why they picked it, because
they can
Americans can't golf where it's not
just
700-yard holes with a 60-yard wide fairway.
I saw what had to be like an AI generated golf clickbait article, so of course I clicked on it. And it previewed this golf course as being like 6,300 yards. And so I was like, what? They're going to play the Ryder Cup on a 6,300-yard golf course? Like, sign me up. This is going to be awesome. And I'm sure it was, but 7,100 isn't all that long.
Yeah,
so it's
7,100 from the back of the back tees.
Yeah.
So not awful.
Yeah, they can definitely do some fun things there. Before we talk about this year's event, who went to the 2016 Ryder Cup here in hometown Hazeltine, Minnesota?
I was living in Chicago.
All right, so I was the only
Did I
one.
live here? Yeah, I did, but I didn't go.
Yeah, because we moved back the next year and you were already.
Is this a bucket list item for you guys?
Yeah, I would like to go next time it's here.
Yeah. 2028 Hazeltine.
I wouldn't say bucket list, but I want to go. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I went Saturday all day. Ticket lottery, and my wife and I went, and this is pre-kids, so we could have some fun with it. But I've told this story a lot.
You
but
can't have fun anymore?
No, we can, but like, God, it's so freaking complicated.
You're gonna get a babysitter at 5:30 a.m.
You won't be taking your kid next time.
No. Well, I'll tell you why. Because we said, well, we got to get first tee, because it looks so cool on TV. So we got to get first tee, and so we showed up at like, it was before 6 o'clock in the morning, and waited in line for 30, 45 minutes or whatever, with several hundred people. And then this is in the dark, but it was a dead sprint, probably 1,200 yards, I bet. Wet grass, floodlights only, to the first tee to get in line at the bleachers. And it was pure chaos. Like, you see like the videos from the Phoenix Open when people are coming in, like, absolutely nuts.
How does it work? Hypothetically, you were faster than the person you were there with, and you get in line. Everyone else, she can budge in front of everyone else.
I was there with my wife and my brother.
Your brother's slow.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wiped
He's
out.
Really slow.
He wiped out. Yeah, hardcore. I think you might have torn a hammy. I don't know. But so we get over there, and it was like the sprint was worth it, because if you would have fast walked, you were not getting in. So you needed to sprint. But everyone who sprinted got into the bleachers.
What does sprinting as a 30-plus-year-old mean?
Running as fast as you can without hurting.
You ran as fast as you had.
No.
1,200 yards.
1,200.
Come on.
I'm a fact checker.
I didn't hurt myself, but it was a run.
Okay.
It was not like a little hustle across the street jog. It was a run. And the thing is, so this is like now 6:03. The first tee time's 8:30. So like, what do you do now? And I would say that we literally cheered USA for 2.5 hours.
Was there any Like,
Nope. It's just all
not
it's just
serving
fans.
anything?
Nope.
You can't
Because the
even get a
places
coffee?
beer didn't even open until 9, I think.
I mean,
After
at
the
6 a.m., I would have been sufficed with a coffee or tea.
I'm not sure the concessions open. Maybe they open for like food at 8 or something, but literally it was just sort of like organic cheering for 2.5 hours until 4 groups come through, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing about the Ryder Cup is it's hard. There's so many people and there's so few golfers that it's hard to like follow the action. So we did that. We went to another spot where we could see a TV, waited for like an hour and a half for them to come through, watched the 4 groups, went to another spot, and like that was the session.
And is it split? Is your ticket only for one?
No, you could stay the whole day. So
Okay.
we did. We stayed for through like the end of the matches in the afternoon, and
So what was that? How many hour day was that?
we probably left at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Solid 12 hours.
Yeah, and my
11
advice
hours.
was like find a spot where you can see a jumbotron and then just camp out, because then you can just like sit and watch, and like people cheer just watching on the jumbotron.
yeah.
Sure.
But like
is there
trying to
many spots like that?
they had some big TVs at Hazeltine.
Okay.
So
they planned for that, knowing
Yeah.
that people.
I mean, there's 30,000 people there or whatever, and there's 4 groups on the golf course.
So wait, it's not like the Masters where you just, write your name on your seat and you
No.
walk away and come back.
But it was really cool. Like home. That's why like the hometown I would do again, where it's like one day and just kind of go all in. But if you go to Europe to do it and you're gonna go for 3 days, like it's kind of 3 days of that crap.
Mhm.
Like it's just hard to see a lot of golf. And I don't know. I'd go for like one day in the location and like
Yeah.
gallivant the
Golf
other
the rest,
days.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to do Friday and Saturday of the same thing. 4-ball foursome both days.
Yes. The
Like
better one would be
Sunday.
because
With
then
all
there's
the
also
singles.
twice as many groups. That's
Yeah.
why it's not on my bucket list.
It's
'cause,
just
like,
it's hard.
yeah.
You have a more so it's like the scene is really cool.
Yes.
And that's why I think you should do it, but it's hard to watch the golf. So there you go. There's my tips, there's my anecdotes. Do you guys want to spin my wheel of Ryder Cup discussion items?
Sure.
For the viewers here, you can see it live.
Do one and then pour the next tasty treat.
All right, I think there's about 12 on here. We'll get through a couple. One of the things that comes up a lot with Ryder Cup is guys that don't wear hats. Are you into it? These guys not wearing hats for 5 hours out there? Like, what's going on?
I did see a tweet that was like talking about, I don't know, the odds moving and everything like that. Be like, are you really betting against Europe and hatless Rory? Apparently it's a thing, hatless Rory. I don't know if I would still wear a hat. I don't understand the no hat.
When I was in high school, I didn't wear a hat to golf most days. I don't know why. But when I got a little older, I was like, what am I doing? Like the sun is in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even people
Or
like,
rain or
I wear like it's people that are out there with no hat and no sun, even like no sunglasses. I'm like, how are you even surviving? I walk outside without a hat and sunglasses. I'm like, man.
Yeah. I
What
don't
is
like
going
wearing
on?
sunglasses when I golf.
Oh,
Oh, you should try my pink sunglasses.
I don't like I just don't like
can we get a photo posted to Twitter of Mike in his pink sunglasses that he got?
I'll do it while we're on the pod.
It's pretty amazing.
In fact, I did post one from the Swag Golf event a couple weeks ago.
I was at the 2 years ago at Whistling. That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Bryson was starting to make the transition from the douche hat to the
Mhm.
baseball hat, right? And now he mostly wears the baseball
yeah.
hat because he was like, wait, I don't look cool in this.
I'm
Mhm.
still
But like that was kind of the first time I had seen him not wearing the douche cap.
Someone on Twitter today said that like it has to do with hairline. Like if you have a hairline like Jordan Spieth or any of these guys is receding, put the hat back on.
Oh, yeah.
You want to open another beer?
Yeah, are we going Bourbon County Barrel or
I'm going big. All right, we can.
I don't know how many you guys are having, so I don't have to drive anywhere.
We've had what, 8 ounces so far?
Yeah.
I also brought, if you don't select it, the
Oh, yeah,
Christian
session.
Bale Ale. The session. It's only like 5.
Let's do that one.
It's 4%. This is like water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
if you drink a third of that, you get 1 1/3% of alcohol.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Should we revisit if you can multiply percents?
Yeah.
Okay, next topic while we're filling up the glasses here. This one can go quick. Can't buy me Ryder Cup gear. The players get to wear all this, like, I mean, the outfits are like garbage. They need to not have Ralph Lauren design anymore Ryder Cup uniforms.
Same with Olympics.
Yeah, but the hats are always really cool, but you can't buy the Ryder Cup hats that the players wear.
I didn't realize that. Why not?
I don't know. I think they're just like player hats. Like the ladies I was saying had these sweet USA logos. Can't buy them. They only have lame like trophy hats on the website.
The trophy hats are lame.
Super
The
lame.
Ryder Cup logo is lame.
Yeah, but you can't get like the good USA hat.
So if you were going for Team Europe, you couldn't buy the robe Robert McIntyre tweeted himself standing in the hotel room.
Assuming that we don't hit Ryder Cup jammies on the wheel here, what'd you see?
He tweeted a picture of him and saying night night in his Team Europe robe. But the thing is, he's standing there barefoot on the hotel carpet. That's a no-go for me. I don't touch hotel carpet.
Okay, so that opens up like a whole can of worms because, no joke, I had a guy that I worked with like 8 years ago. We traveled full time, and he was mega germophobe. And he said he had this like routine when he entered the hotel room, and it involved going straight to the bathroom, collecting all the towels, and then laying the towels in the paths in the hotel room that he might walk so that his feet never had to touch the carpet. It also included bringing his own plastic bag that he would place the remote in for the TV, so he'd only have to press the button through the remote.
So I've not done the towel thing. What does he use to dry off?
Maybe
he calls down and gets more towels.
So I only will walk around in socks, and then I take my socks off before I get into bed and leave them right by the bed. And then if I have to get up to go to the bathroom,
No, you do not.
yes, I do. And
Why
then
don't you bring sandals?
that's what I was gonna say.
if I have to get up, because that's another thing to pack. If I have to get up to the bathroom, I put my socks back on before to go to the bathroom. But I
Why don't
do
you
take.
do you sleep in socks ever?
No.
Yeah, that's weird too.
Yeah. So I do use. I've gotten a little bit better about this because now they always give you the moist towelettes to clean things stuff off with.
Jesus.
But they I used to take the ice bucket bag and put the remote in there and tie that shut and use that.
It's incredible. This is all pre-COVID, I bet too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Great. I can't wait for our next golf
We
trip.
got many dirty jokes that I want to say right now, but it's a family-friendly audience, so I'm gonna restrain.
I skipped over a couple of topics on the wheel that we kind of hit on. True or false? Zach Johnson is a piece of crap.
False.
False.
True. He's
Go Hawkeyes.
Twitter makes it seem like the answer is true.
Other question: would you rather have Zach Johnson or Brian Ferentz as your offensive coordinator?
Zach Johnson.
All right, so we're split on that one. Last but not least, I'll give you one more take. This is my hottest take of the Ryder Cup. The U.S. would be better off if they just would have played live players versus Europe.
All right, and on to the next thing.
God, some people on Twitter seem to think that Bryson, Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson, Taylor Gooch, Kevin Na, these guys should all been called.
The Saudi bots on Twitter out there.
Yeah. Along with, I used to really like Country Club Adjacent on Instagram.
Really? Wow.
They used to be funny. Like the back off challenge and stuff like that. And now it is like Live is 100, or the PIF is definitely sliding them cash under the table
Well, of
just
course.
to promote them all the time.
Yeah,
Back off
They've been
challenge
thinking about
exists before Live?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They mostly did it themselves or like at
Sure.
like little events, never with real golfers, because that's embarrassing to be doing.
Fair enough.
For a real golfer to be having
Fair
that
enough.
happen behind him.
All right. So we'll get to the DFS preview. We're not going to do our normal player breakdown, but Kyle, what's the game this week in DFS if you're going to play DFS Ryder Cup?
Yeah, we'll highlight some of the people we usually follow who do have some good content out there. Like Mike said, we didn't create the model, but Model Maniac, Byron Lindeque has a model he put together specifically for the Ryder Cup. I would check that out. Jason Ruslan, DFS golfer, has some good content out there. And then I found Jamie Kennedy. His Twitter is Jamie R. Kennedy.
The actor.
Yeah, a golf writer apparently, but he had a good breakdown too that I found good, because the key this week is to try to get as many sessions in for your golfers, right?
Yeah.
So there's 5 possible sessions. In the past, USA usually only has 1 or none play all 5. I would say Scotty is a very good bet to play all 5. Europe has typically had more play all 5, so I'd say Rory and Vic are a pretty good vet. Maybe Rahm, maybe Cantlay plays all 5 if you want to look for a dark horse to play it. So you almost got to start your lineup with at least 2 of those guys, maybe even 3 if you can find a way to make that work. That's where, looking at what Byron put out and Jason put out, they kind of did a breakdown of golfers and who they think might get picked for each pairing, and really looked at that hardcore, and they're going to be able to explain it a lot better than I could. So
the concept of picking somebody that, obviously it makes sense. Like, you're looking to accumulate points across the event, you play more matches, you score more points. But that's where the partnership strategy comes into play, because partners score the same number of DraftKings points. So even though Cantlay might be, I should just pull the pricing up, but even like in this case, let's say that Scotty plays with Brian Harman. And Scotty's coming in at $9,800 and Brian Harman is coming in at $4,600. Right. They play together. Brian Harman scores the same number of points that he and Scotty, right? And that Scotty scores. Like, it's all the same. And so you are getting those points at $5,000 less if you're putting Scotty on your roster. The only reason you're putting Scotty on your roster is because you want him in singles on Sunday, or in the event that they don't play together all 4 sessions and he's got different partners,
which I think is still pretty likely.
I agree with you. Certainly with like someone like Brian Harman is going to play 2 or 3 sessions.
Yeah, I think he'll play 3.
I thought this course was made for him.
Well, it's probably a bad example.
I think all the US guys will play 3. Robert McIntyre, Bobby Mack's probably only going to play 2.
They got to play Sunday.
Yeah, so everyone will play Sunday except Straka. I think all the US guys will play 3. But to your point, I think that's why like a Sam Burns is going to catch some steam, because people think he'll play with Scotty. And I think that could make sense in the 4 some. And the way to think about this, just shout out Byron on this, before some, everyone will hit some shots. For 4 balls, there's always 4 balls in play. If you keep that straight. But I like Jamie Kennedy's breakdown on this, because he went through the course and player A and player B on what shots they'll hit. So player A, the breakdown he will, because that's for the alternate shot. It needs to be a better iron player. They'll hit twice as many approaches, and 3 of the 4 par 3s are odd holes. So they'll hit the tee shots on there. Where player B needs to be the better putter, and will have twice as many key birdie putts, or important putts or birdie putts. So that's where I think, and like foursome, it makes sense for Burns to play with Scotty. But I don't think Burns plays 4 ball.
So
I think he'll play 2 foursomes with Scotty and then singles.
And that's where I think what I've heard is that the captains have been getting more strategic with not just saying, hey, Scotty and Sam should play together because they're friends and they have great chemistry. It's Scotty and Sam should play together sometimes because the analytics say they should. And so that's why it gets a little tougher. I do think the only thing we don't know is who's the A player and who's the B player, because it all matters who's going to take the odd holes and who's going to take the even holes.
Correct. But in this,
to your point, you would put Scotty in the A spot and Sam in the B spot.
And then I think in the US you'll see in foursome, I mean, Xander and Cantlay, I don't know why you wouldn't have them play together in alternate shot. But 4 ball is interesting. I don't really. I've seen a lot
fact
of different
that
things.
They dominate the Zurich every year.
Yeah, but they made their hay in alt shot every year. They would pick 7 under to people's 1 or 2, where they're just
treading water.
4 ball.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jamie Kennedy, Jordan, most famous movie, Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, no idea.
Malibu's Most Wanted. Come on, you've
No.
never seen it? God,
I
classic.
have never seen it.
Okay.
Oh, he looks old at book now. Oh, I see
So
why he's not in TV anymore.
yeah, well, Kyle, who do you like? So what's your do you have a strategy yet, or you got to spend another 48 hours kind of?
I've been playing around with building some lineups and like taking this to heart. Like I said, I think you have to find a way to get 3 of Scotty, Rory, Vic, Rom, Cantlay. If you think Cantlay can play all 5, and I have a build I was able to do that with. I'm gonna not play Bobby Mack because I think he only plays twice. Probably not gonna play Sepp because I think there's risk of him only playing twice, especially if he doesn't do well in his first time out. The U.S. side, I think I'm gonna stay away from Ricky because I don't see him as a good 4-ball option. 4-ball, again, you want guys that can go out and score if they blow up. It's not as big a deal. Where, yeah. So like it. Yeah, I might stay away there. I think I do like Brian Harmon from a cash standpoint. He could sneak. I think he'll get 3 for sure. And if he plays well, maybe he could sneak in a 4th because I do think he could be a good counter with the accuracy. I do like Lowry on the European side.
Interesting.
You got to find some guys cheap. So
I mean, he probably will play with Rory.
yeah. So I went, and he's the only guy who on the European team who has played with Rory in a Ryder Cup before. So I'd like their point there. So I just went through and I did a build. You can throw Hovland in your captain spot, go Matt Fitzpatrick, Brian Harmon, Shane Lowry, Rory, and Scotty. And that fits from a salary perspective. I like it.
I will say the only article I've read so far has Shane Lowry ranked down with Robert McIntyre.
I mean,
his form is bad. And it was his quote is Europe would be wise to hide him until singles.
The form question is tough because no one's played any real golf for 4 to 8 weeks. And so that's enough time for everybody to completely forget what made them playing bad and to find themselves like, we have no idea what's going on.
I will say Lowry did burn us a lot earlier in the year, and then I just completely stayed away from him. So it's a little.
He's been okay. But I agree, like
But he's cheap and it has the upside, and maybe I'm wrong. He kind of seems like the bulldog, and could get him an extra session.
The pricing is deceiving because you do have to play captain mode, and so you are going to pay 1.5 times for one of your players, and so that probably is, unless you're putting Harmon in that spot, which I wouldn't advise because he's only going to play 3 sessions. It's going to force you down to that 4K range for a player. Did you have a point, Jordan?
I was just gonna say the article I was reading was on Roto Baller, and they actually rank every golfer for their overall, alt shot, and best ball amongst the 24 people are out there.
I'm guessing this is Spencer
Aguilar.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. Like, so he's got Homa as his number 1 overall rank, because number 1 at alt shot, and 5th at best ball.
Interesting.
So Kyle, help me with my. Of course, I still have plenty of Rainmakers cards from PGA Tour season left over to put in here, which is not going to handcuff me from a salary standpoint.
Correct.
The only player that I am missing from a stud standpoint is Rory.
Go buy him.
It's going to cost me about $14 or $15 at the core level because I'm cheap. Who are my 5 players? Then, if I'm not going, let's say I'm not going to go out and buy Rory. So, who are my 5 players if I'm just trying to load up on sessions? Rahm, Scheffler, Hovland.
Maybe Homa. Well, if you think Cantlay. So I could see an argument for Xander, just thinking he's going to play with Cantlay twice, thinking he gets in 1 4-ball, then he has singles. Or if you like Spencer's take there, you could go Homa.
I can't afford, and I might be able to have 2 lineups that are like, out of 5 players, you're looking for 20, probably like 23 to 25 sessions. I probably could make 2 lineups, but in Rainmakers, you're probably toast if you're playing a player with 3 sessions.
Probably. I think Xander's gonna play 4.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not as convinced about Homa.
Okay.
I only have 4 guys available for Rainmakers. I
It's
still
like
have
you need to
your.
go buy Bobby Mack.
Who do I have from you? Oh, I still have your Wyndham Clark, right?
Oh yeah, you owe me.
Whenever you want to buy him back.
You guys are funny.
I bought him for $1 before whatever the last tournament was. So I could have it.
What's your viewing strategy for the tournament this week? Because since you're in U.S. time, what are you gonna do? Hope you wake up at 4 o'clock.
Sleep through the first half and hopefully watch the second one.
I'll tune in Friday morning. Friday will be my early wake time with the kids. Get up, get some, have a caffeinated beverage in the morning. Watch a little bit.
Can you text me Friday morning? Because I'm going to forget that it's on.
Yeah, I got you. Unfortunately, Sunday morning is not going to be good for my viewing. I have to go be a spectator/cheerer at the Twin Cities 10 Mile.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Ryder Cup viewing.
On our phones.
Yeah.
I was thinking one of the mornings I'd go outside and put it on the outdoor theater and have a little like pre-sunrise Ryder Cup viewing.
Okay. What time are you starting this thing?
I don't know. I was like 5 maybe or something. But then I was like, do I want to start having drinks at 5 in the morning? I don't think so.
You could have a Irish coffee. What is it, an Italian? What's the Italian morning cocktail?
An aperitif.
Pepperoni. No, I don't know. Aperitif.
Did you just combine? Did you say Aperoni?
No, I said Peroni.
Peroni.
Yeah.
Okay. Peroni is a pretty solid beer.
You think so?
If you're, it's like
if you're in Italy.
If you're in Italy.
But
I just love the Christmas of European beers in Europe. Like
it's because the water. It's because the water.
Yeah.
It's because the water sucks. Like in like Germany, it was cheaper to buy a beer at a restaurant than it was to get like table water.
Yeah.
So you just drink beer.
But there's just like this.
But no, I hear it.
Right, like,
Christmas.
Yeah.
There's Christmas to it. Well, but back to your point here. Why were you drinking an Italian beverage? We're Team USA. Look at your hat.
Yeah.
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 You're going
You set me up for that. Come on.
Drink your Bud Light, buddy.
I drink American beer.
Jordan's got me. I gotta go figure out how many cards I have for this week.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Wyndham, he's all yours.
Do you guys have any final takes? Last call on Ryder Cup. Pick a player to knock it out of the park, player to totally be a dumpster fire. What do you think?
I didn't get any bets in. You could have gotten Team Europe plus 150 about 4 months ago, and I wish I would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is down to plus 110, plus 115 on DraftKings. USA is minus 110. I'm nervous. Go USA, but I'm nervous.
I don't think there's anything to be nervous of. I mean, USA's got nothing to lose. They've lost the last 15 Ryder Cups in Europe.
But come on, let's go.
Final takes, Jordan?
I was just looking to see if I could get any prop bets in on the Sleeper app, and there aren't any for golf.
Unfortunately.
So, no, I'm just excited to watch it.
All right.
It was fun.
All right. Well, that's it. That's our Ryder Cup preview. You can find our content every Wednesday morning now that the fall swing is back, previewing each PGA Tour event. Check us out on Twitter at RTG Podcast DFS, any major podcast platform, and our YouTube channel. We'll be back in a week with Ryder Cup results and a preview of the Sanderson Farms Championship. See ya.